Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me for today's at-home full body Pilates workout using a small ball. Today I am using a small exercise ball. I have it partially deflated, so it's a little bit squashy. It'll help to support some movements and make certain movements even more challenging and intense. If you do not have a ball, you don't have to use a ball for any of these moves. You can do the entire workout equipment free, and I will talk you through what that looks like at different stages. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into our warm-up. We're not going to use the ball for our warm-up, so just place it to the side of your mat. And we're going to start off in an all fours position, just mobilizing the spine. So we're going to position the wrists below the shoulders, the knees below the hips. Now we're going to drop the belly, rolling the shoulders down and back, and then push the mat away, rounding through the spine, separating the vertebra. Inhale, drop your belly, roll your shoulders down away from your ears, arching your spine, and then exhale, scoop your abs in, scoop them in, and round through the spine. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Nicely done. Inhale, arch, roll those shoulders down away from your ears. And exhale, scoop your abdominal wall in as you create space between each of the vertebrae. Let's take two more. Inhale and exhale. Nicely done. Last one. And round. Then bring the spine into a neutral position. Nice work. From here, keeping the hands where they are, we're going to step the right leg back, step the left leg back, coming into a low plank. From here, we're going to hold, lifting the abdominal wall, creating a nice flat line with the body, and then shoot the hips up, coming into downward dog. So we're coming forward, powering up through the shoulders, lifting through the abdominal wall, and then lifting hips toward the ceiling, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Coming forward, nice strong plank, and backwards for a stretch. Forward and backward. Inhale and exhale. Nice work. Moving between the two positions, powering up your core, then stretching and lengthening through your spine for 2. And last one. And now we're coming forward into plank and we're holding here for 5, 4, 3. Nice broad shoulders, 2 and 1. Lower knees down to the mat. Take them nice and wide and sink back into child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. And as you exhale, walk yourself up to a kneeling position. Facing forward on your mat, we're going to stretch out those shoulders and mobilize the joints. So we're going to reach up tall through those fingers and round the arms down and back. Inhale and exhale, creating a lot of space, opening up in the chest as you circle those arms down and back. Sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head lifts toward the ceiling. We've got 3 and 2, lengthen and stretch. And last one, nicely done. Now from here, we're going to come down onto the mat with the ball. So I'd like you to roll down one vertebra at a time. And from this position, we're going to pop the ball between the knees. If you haven't got a ball, you've got your legs hip distance apart, parallel. From this position, we're going to interlace the fingers, take them behind the head, and we're going to start off with some gentle crunches to warm up the abdominal wall. So the elbows are nice and wide here. We're going to inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we're going to peel head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Elbows are nice and wide. Inhale to lower, and then exhale to lift. Let's get into that Pilates breath here. As we lower, we inhale. As we exhale, we contract the abdominal wall down toward the spine, down toward the mat throughout the entire exhale.
Contract that core. Good. Inhale to lower. Exhale, peel those shoulder blades up off the mat. Now, if you've got that ball between your legs, make sure it's secure. You're sort of gently pressing into it with those thighs. And as you do so, I want you to start focusing on your pelvic floor as well. So as you peel up, I want you to lift your pelvic floor, squeeze those knees together. If your legs are apart and you haven't got a ball, you can gently tense your thighs, lift your pelvic floor, and contract your belly button down toward your spine. Nice, getting into that breath, starting to feel it in those abs. We've got 3 and 2, keep it slow. Nice work. And last one, lift and lower. Now we're gonna bring the legs into tabletop and flex the feet. From here, we're gonna carry on with those crunches. Knees are over the hips, inhale and exhale. Lower and lift, good. Inhale to lower, exhale, peel head, neck, and shoulders up, maintaining nice wide stance with those elbows. Good. Pressing low back into the mat. If your low back is lifting off the mat here, you can either bring your knees a little bit closer into your chest like so, or you can lower those feet right back down to the floor and continue with the crunches, feet on floor. We've got 4 and 3. Lift a bit higher for 2 and final 1. Now, hands come overhead, palms are facing in toward each other, arms are long. From this position, we're gonna inhale, and as we exhale, we're gonna stretch the legs out long and point the toes. Feet flex, we come back in. I'm gonna move down a little bit, and as we exhale, we extend, pointing through the toes. Feet flex, we lower down. As we exhale, we squeeze the ball between the knees and point the toes. Again, if you haven't got your ball, you're keeping your legs hip distance apart here. Squeezing into the thighs, working into those abs, upper and lower as we lift and lower off the mat with control. Good. Really point through those toes, flex to bring them back in. Moving between the 2 positions with the feet will really help you to switch on your thighs as well as your abs. Good, nice strong arms, slicing through the air as you curl up. Nice work. We've got 4 and 3. Lift a bit higher through those shoulders. Last 2. And final 1. And bring it in, relax the legs down. Amazing work. Now, from here, we're going to place the ball under the bum. So it might take a little bit of adjustment here. I want you to find that place where it's just sort of under your tailbone or a little bit above your tailbone if that feels more comfortable. You can always move it accordingly when we get started if it doesn't feel quite right. So we're gonna be balancing on the ball. So our job here, just lift your legs up, is to find that center of gravity. So we don't wanna sort of be swaying from side to side on the ball. You can use your arms for support here as well. So pressing the backs of your arms down onto the floor. From this position, we're gonna stretch the legs out long. Straighten them if you can. If you can't, you've got a gentle bend in those knees. If you haven't got the ball, you've got your tailbone down on the mat. You can support with your hands on either side. We're going to maintain that balance. Lower the right leg, inhale, and exhale to pull it back up. Lower the left leg, belly to spine to lift. Lower the right and lift. So we're hinging from the hip here. Using the core strength to keep yourself balanced on that ball, not rocking from side to side. Good, lowering and abs into lift. Working into those lower abs. Again, if you're losing control, you can take a more shallow dip with that leg. You don't have to lower it quite as low down as I'm doing. You can do a smaller range of movement. Inhale to lower, belly to spine to lift. Lowering and lifting. Good work. I really like the support of this ball. It feels good on the low back. It's really a nice way to strengthen your core and support your lumbar spine. Good. Lower and lift. Last one, lower and lift. Bring the knees in for a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Maintain that balance. And we're gonna come up, legs squeezing together, lowering both legs and lifting. Good work, you've got this. Lower and lift. 8 more. Lower down. Again, you can have a gentle bend in those knees as needed. We've got 7. Pull belly in to lift. And 6. Squeeze legs together for 5. And 4. Lowering and lifting. Last 3. Abs contract. And final 1. Bring it in. Lower your feet down to the floor and remove the ball. Bring your knees in toward your chest, hugging them in for a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Nice work. Now from here, we're going to take the ball. If you haven't got a ball, you're just going to keep your spine flat on the floor. I'm going to place it in the middle of my back. Find that spot wherein it feels comfortable. Now, we don't want the lower back to be slumping or rounding. You want it to stay nice and high here. So we want to extend the right leg out long. Lean back on your ball, but tighten your core. Take your hands behind your head. Elbows nice and wide. We're going to get into our obliques here. We're inhaling, and as we exhale, we're twisting to the side and then extending that right leg out long. Twisting with that left elbow toward the right knee and extending. So again, you don't want to be wobbling from side to side in your lower body. You want to keep this rotation happening around the rib cage. Move even more slowly if you need to find that balance, to find that stability. Try not to round through the lower back. If you need to adjust the ball, moving it higher or lower down on your back, you can experiment with that. Good. And if it's too much with the stability or instability of the ball, you can lower your spine down to the floor. Just remove the ball, place it off to the side for this one. Good. Working into those obliques now. Nice work. We've got 4, tightening into the waistline. Nice wide elbows. 3 and 2, abs in. And final 1, amazing work. Bring your opposite leg out long, and we're moving on to the other side. Find that stability, find that balance. Good. Twisting and extending. Nice work. Keeping those elbows nice and wide, neck nice and long, twisting around the rib cage, keeping that lower body really steady, hips evenly weighted. We've got 3 and 2 and final 1. Nice work. Bend the knees, extend the arms out to the sides, turn the palms so they're facing up toward the ceiling. From here, we're going to move into some little micro pulses. So we're going to inhale and exhale, pulse it forward. Little pulses, reaching those fingertips toward the end of the room. Good. Plugging that belly in. Head rests on top of your shoulders as you work deep into those upper abs. Good. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and hold, lift a bit higher and relax it down. Amazing work. I'm going to take the ball out from my back and place it under my hip for these next exercises. So we're gonna get into a little bit more into our obliques and into the lower body. If you haven't got a ball, you're going to be propped up like so on one hip. If you have got your ball, you're placing it under your hip, finding that balance. This is where it's good not to have your ball too inflated because you don't want it rolling around on you. You just want it supporting that lower hip. Again, we're focusing on balance and stability here. So I've got my forearm pressing down into the mat. The elbow is below the shoulder. The chest is nice and open. You can keep that lower hand or that top hand down on the mat as support, or you can take it away so that you have a little less support and you're having to work a little harder in that core. So legs are outstretched, creating a nice flat line with the body. We're gonna lift and lower that top leg. Lift and lower. So you're pressing up through your supporting elbow. Your chest is nice and open here, and you're not rocking around. So you're balancing, you're keeping that lower hip and waistline really lifted and tight. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So I want you to focus on the work that's happening in your leg and your glutes as well as in your waistline. So tightening that core, pressing up through that supporting elbow. Good. Lift and lower, pointing through the toes. We've got 5, 4, 3, abs in for 2, and final 1. Hold it here. You can place your hand down for support as needed. We're gonna draw little circles, circling forward, maintaining that balance on the ball, lengthening out through the big toe as you circle. Good, keep that leg elevated. You can do it. 2 and 1, reverse direction with those circles. 7, 6, 5, 4, lift up through that waist. 2 and 1, nice work. Now from here, we're gonna come over and do the other side. So getting nice and comfortable on that opposite side, we're resting the forearm down onto the floor. We're popping the ball underneath the hip. So find that balance. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. You might feel wobbly on one side. That's okay. Adjust the ball as needed. Support yourself with your arms. Now, when you find that stability, start going into those leg lifts. Good. Take one hand away from the mat if you feel stable enough to do so. Good, breathing through it, propping yourself up, really push up through that supporting elbow. You want your chest to stay nice and open. You want that lower body, that lower hip really nice and lifted. Good. Lengthening through those toes, working into that waistline, and breathing. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Now we're gonna circle. Good. I always find my circles on my left side a little trickier and less coordinated, but just work that balance, work that control. Keep circling forward for 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. Reverse direction with those circles, circling backwards. Maintaining that core stability. Nice relaxed neck for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to get into some more glute work. So we're going to pop the ball between the knees and lower down, one vertebra at a time. Again, no ball. You've got your legs hip distance apart. We're gonna position our feet so that they're below, the heels are below the knees, and we're gonna press the hands down into the mat, press the arms down onto the floor. From here, we're gonna inhale, and as we exhale, we're tilting the pelvis back and peeling the spine up off the mat, lifting into bridge. Lower, and lift. Lower, and lift. Good. So getting into that back body, as we lift, we're contracting the glutes, we're keeping the tailbone tucked, and we're squeezing the thigh muscles. Good. Driving up through those heels, engaging the core as we breathe out. Good. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. We've got 3, and 2, and last one. We're gonna come up and hold. So from this position, we're going to start pulsing the ball. If you haven't got a ball, you're gonna tap your knees together in your pulses. So from here, make sure your tailbone is tucked. We're gonna pulse the ball for 20. Good, little controlled micro pulses, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the ball if you've got it. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Nice work. Now from here, we're gonna come up onto the toes so that the balls of the feet are below the knees, and we're gonna lift and lower. Lift, driving up through the balls of the feet now, and lower. Lift, tighten the core, and lower. Tuck your tailbone as you lift, and lower. We've got 4, and 3, last 2, and final 1. We're coming up and holding for our 20 little squeezes of the ball or knee taps. Let's go. Try not to let the ball drop here. Little pulses, slow them down if you need to. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, I started shaking there. Okay, adjust the ball if it's moved at all. Now, same thing again, but we're going to position the heels so that they're below the knees. As we lift the toes, we're going to drive up through the heels, keeping the toes elevated up off the mat and lower. Good. Lift, tucking the tailbone and lower. Lift and lower. Good work. Push up through those heels. Strengthening the back body. Keep those toes elevated. Good. We've got 4, 3, for 2, and final 1. And yes, moving into those pulses. Good. Little controlled pulses. Keep those hips elevated. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Squeeze the ball and lower down with control. Amazing work. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Right hand over right knee, left hand over left knee, and just circle those knees in opposite directions. Massaging the low back on the mat as you do so. Nicely done. Lower your feet down to the floor. Now we're going to roll over onto our stomachs. So I'm going to go out on a bit of a diagonal here so that you can see what I'm doing when I'm passing the ball from side to side. I'm going to start off with the ball in the hands. If you haven't got a ball, you've just got long fingers like so. Your legs are about hip distance apart here. Toes are pointed. We're going to inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, keeping the gaze down on the mat, we're going to lift, lower, and lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Holding for a split second at the top, strengthening the arms and the upper back. Keep your gaze down on the floor, keeping the neck in line with the spine. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. We've got 6. 5, lift a bit higher. For 4. 3, nice strong straight arms. 2, and 1. Amazing work. Now from here, I'm going to start passing the ball back and forth between the hands. If you haven't got a ball, it looks like this. Arms are straight, we pull back, we come forward, we pull back the opposite side and come forward. So I'm going to move back a little bit, creating more space. If you're holding onto the ball, you're taking the ball in the hands like so. You're passing it back and forward, pulling back and forward. Good. Bringing that ball back from side to side. Good. Opening through the chest on either side. I'm going to move back just a little bit more. Good. And as you pull back, really lift your chest up off the mat. Sweep the arm back, reach and stretch. Looking out over your shoulder as you do so. I know these are tough, keep your chest elevated. We've got 3, and 2, and final 1, and relax it down. Stretch and lengthen through those arms. Relax your forehead down on the mat. Final exercise here. If you haven't got a ball, you're going to come up and pulse your hands together like so. If you have got a ball, you're going to press your palms into the ball as we come up into a lifted position with that chest and those arms. So we're inhaling here. We're exhaling to come up and pulse, holding in that elevated position, pulsing the sides of the ball. Pulse, 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 pulse. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. And we're going to come up and do that one more time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to lift and pulse. Little pulses into the side of the ball or pulsing your hands together in the air. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the ball down to the side. Find the center of your mat and just sink back into a child's pose. Stretching and lengthening through your spine. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders. Filling the back of the rib cage with air in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Nice work. From here, we're going to come forward on the mat, keeping the forearms down on the floor, legs outstretched. You can peel up into a cobra stretch like so, or you can come all the way up onto your palms to stretch out those abdominals, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Nice work. Now I'm going to come over onto my back and I'm going to bring the ball with me and just place it under, sort of between the shoulder blades. If you haven't got a ball, just keep your chest nice and open down on the mat and just splay your elbows out to the side. From here, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to fold over the ball slightly. So just letting gravity kind of pull your head down to the mat. Let your elbows splay out to the side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. You can kind of experiment with the position of the ball. You can move it a little higher up, letting your chest open You can move it a little bit further down if that feels more comfortable. Just getting a little bit of a back bend in here. For 3 and 2 and 1. Gently come out of this one, so use your hands to help you to come up. And we're going to sit with our feet together, and we're just going to stretch out the thighs a little bit here. So bring the soles of the feet together, sit up nice and tall, gripping onto the ankles. Let your knees splay out to the side, drawing them down toward the mat if that feels comfortable, and then just hinge forward. Enjoying a nice stretch in the inner thighs. If it feels comfortable, you can just gently apply a little bit of pressure to your thighs, lowering your knees down to the mat if that feels comfortable. Feeling an opening in the hips here as well. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can cross your legs. Lift your shoulders up by your ears. Inhale, and exhale, roll them down and back. Inhale, lift, and exhale, melt them down and back. Let's take 2 more. And last one. And we are done. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that ball routine, and I really look forward to moving again with you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.